Hi everyone, it's Natalie here. So before I start this unboxing, I'm going to preface it a little bit because I am not sure quite what I'm about to open or get into. I'm just sitting. I've heard a lot of people talk about it with great fondness. I've also heard some criticism. Um, I can't remember who it was that left a comment, and I really should have checked before I started the video. I had a wonderful comment from somebody on one of the other goddess videos that I did, talking about just the difficulty in general with portraying goddesses. And I have to agree. I'm not sure which of these will get uploaded and put out there first, but I just did a review of another goddess deck that's Tibetan, where the artist is a very serious practitioner of the Tibetan of a particular Tibetan lineage, and painted over the course of many years these incredible tankas of different Tibetan deities. And somehow in the publishing of it, a lot of the value of who those deities are was really lost, not because of the artwork, but because of the way the entire thing was packaged and presented. So the person who left me this comment mentioned the Sheila na gig in this deck, which I've only seen on Ash's channel, because I know that Ash is a big fan of the Dark Goddess Tarot, Ash of Inner Divine Tarot. And I could take her point, that it's supposed to be, Sheila na gig is supposed to be a crone. She felt that the Sheila na gig in the deck I'm about to open was just not portrayed with her level of fullness and reality and so forth. As I reflect and continue to reflect and look at this, we're looking at a number of different factors here. And I think it's important to be specific and to name what those things are that we're really talking about, and to talk about them with greater clarity. So when we talk about, gods and goddesses and different lineages and different deities not being well represented in general, right? By even though maybe the artists did a really good job, or it's let's just say somewhere somewhere in translation something was lost. Okay, that's, I think, just going to be part of the way that working with them as cartomancy, and oracle is gonna. I think that's just part of it. This is the deck I'm talking about, and I'll have to make sure I've uploaded this one first. But, in this case, the artist has had some clearly, and, just from my own experience as a practitioner, and having had my own experiences with some of these deities from this tradition, which were kind of shocking and really not expected, was really intense. And my sense of her work is that she too has had those experiences, and that the artwork is one way of not only honoring the divinity, inherent in these beings, but also, a means of honoring her connection to them, an experience with them. And yet, somewhere in the doing of that, things were lost in translation. The attempt at turning it into an oracle deck by a mainstream publisher really took a lot away from the depth inherent, in the culture and in the paintings. Something really deeply valuable was lost, but yet it's not completely lost. Now, that's not the same thing as Well, it's not the same thing, say, as a neo shaman or a Western. I forget what the exact term is, and I don't want to say plastic shaman because I know that that's a term that gets thrown around a lot, and I understand why. But let's say that someone is a very serious, shamanic practitioner that who is Western, and let's say too that. Someone might be a very serious, Western magical practitioner of some sort, and they have attempted to portray goddesses from a very specific tradition in their deck. Okay, which is something that Colette Baron-Reid has attempted. It's what was attempted by, again, the names, I'm making a video, so I can't recall anything with any ease. But I believe it was just the Dark Goddess Oracle that Llewellyn published. The two women who I know nothing about, even still, but I know that they identify, I think, or self-identify as shamanic practitioners. The truth of the matter is, they may very well have deep experiences that informed their deck, right? Or their intention behind using particular goddess deities in their deck, okay? And when we talk about doing that, and we talk about working with deities and working with goddesses who come from a non-white tradition and background, we're also running a great risk of, culturally appropriating and deeply misrepresenting not just the deities, but an entire culture. And and in it watering down its truth and its depth. And I don't know what that's like, but I can tell you just simply from the experience of working with what happened with this deck, right? And with the experiences that I had with the beings in the Tibetan tradition, I get it. In other words, I get when people tell me like, whoa, wait a minute, that's completely misrepresented. I can't believe that they left this and this and this out. It hurts, right? It hurts to have something that you've had a personal experience with misrepresented. So imagine if that were not just your own personal experience with a particular deity, but your entire religious and cultural background. And when it's done by white people, it takes on a completely different connotation. And it's very much about, it takes us back to a lot of really difficult history that is, while we may not, as white people, we may not still be intentionally perpetuating it. Our inability to recognize it and recognize the ways in which it comes out or may still be impacting and affecting intercultural and interracial exchanges, relationships, and so forth, it's irresponsible not to take that into account. It just is part of our landscape, and it is just simply part of our inheritance. I look a certain way. I was born into a certain family, and I have a certain genetic makeup, and that has a history in this country and in this culture. It has a very specific history. And it isn't that I'm the person perpetuating it now, but if I'm not aware of the ways in which it has been, could be, and is still able to hurt and wound and impact others that I care about or that I love, it's something that is then deeply worth contemplating for me. And so that's where I'm coming from. And I think it is important to say that. I know, it's worth every moment taken to clarify and discuss. So when we talk about what's going on in goddess decks, and we talk about what's going on when we try to represent cultures that are not our own, that is a factor. That's an aspect. Now, the deck I'm about to unbox is an independent deck. It's an indie deck. This is made by a white woman. It's Ellen Lorenzi-Prince. She happens to be very well thought of. I don't know very much about her yet. I really don't. I've looked at her website. I've read some of her stuff. It looks good. I'm definitely intrigued by... I was intrigued instantly by the deck, because now here's where I'm going to contradict things a little bit, right? That a big part of my attraction to this deck is that La Santa Muerte is on the cover, that she's part of the deck, that she's very strongly represented by it. Because despite not having any connection to her at all, I have had a very deep experience of her, and it was a shock. It was not something I expected to ever happen. I don't know why she visited me. I don't know why she was so important to me for a while, but I can tell you that she was. I can tell you that she was, and I can tell you that simultaneously not knowing the multitude of ways in which she is revered and worked with in Mexican culture, and there's a lot there to unpack as well. And just not being part of that culture, my experience of her is very different than someone coming from that culture and someone who has intentionally worked with her, right? We don't know why. I mean, why a particular aspect of deity comes to us or talks to us when it's outside of our cultural background. It's one of the great mysteries of being alive. It's one of the great mysteries of being human. That's my take on it. I don't know. I guess having a number of different perspectives to bring to this is probably helpful and useful. I have goosebumps because on the back, wow, I'm really having chills. So on the back is Spider Woman, and I hadn't really taken that in. And I have a whole other story that maybe is for another video about my experience with Spider Woman, or I will call it simply a really powerful numinous experience with a being who may or may not have been a Spider Woman. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out who she is. And it's years later, probably 14, 15 years after the event. So, and the event that I had with La Santa Muerte was a lot more recent. So I'm just covered in goosebumps right now. So I should say too, the box was gorgeous. This box, it's a little bit shiny. It's beautiful. It's not as matte as I expected. No little finger holds. That'll be interesting. It did come wrapped really, really beautifully in this paper with, where's all my goodies? With a bookmark that is for the Tarot for Planetary, Personal and Planetary Transformation, which I guess is a conference in 2020 that's coming, wrong side, there we go. The Fool's Dog. I like that. The Fool's Dog presents. And it looks like there's a nice lineup. Mary Kay Greer and Rachel Pollack are on board. And of course, Ellen Lorenzi-Prince, Joanna Powell Colbert, James Wells, and so on. And there's a Halloween masquerade ball. Also included were 3 gorgeous postcards. Interestingly, oh yeah, more goosebumps. Makes me wonder if she saw my video. I don't know. You never know. People don't comment, and I don't know if she's on YouTube. So this one comes from the Minoan Tarot. It's another deck that she's done. And then finally, this one I don't know. Oh, but it's a Tower card. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I didn't put that together either. Okay. So already, this is kind of turning into a very meaningful experience because interesting. Wow, and I can't quite read my little cheaty lights here. What does it say? Folarchos Tarot by Carmen Sorrenti, 2018. Interesting. I don't know anything about this. I'm going to have to look it up. But I love that representation of the tower. That was absolutely how I experienced it. Very, very much how I experienced it. Wow. And I'm going to say too, and this probably won't surprise anyone, when I had that experience, guess who accompanied it? So, all right, let's see if we can get this open. Ooh, not bad. Not bad. It's not lined on the inside. Decent, nice little box. Okay, so there is a little white book. And you can get, oh, it's really rather beautiful, actually. There's some full color pictures in here, but there's not that many. It's actually not a bad little white book. Wow, it was Ishtar. I want to learn a lot. There's a lot of goddesses in here that I don't know anything about. And I should say too, like the bubble wrap was sealed with this sticker. And then Crow Woman was on the outside of the envelope, and I just ripped her off, and I couldn't get all of it, but I kind of don't care because of the way I work with stuff. It'll show up somewhere in a journal. Okay, beautiful. Wow, and it's got these lovely scales on the back. I'm looking for my cell phone because my cell phone has scales on it. Oh, yeah. Fun times. I got my bloody scissors here. Okay, wow. Nice size. Ooh, kind of silky cardstock. Wow, very slidey, silky cardstock. Wow. Okay. Wow. So we have, yeah, oh wow, yummy cardstock. It's very silky and it's not exactly shiny, but it's also not matte. Feels like it's shuffleable, got some nice tooth to it. It looks like a Pythia. Looks like this is a Pythia. I think it could be, looks like a Pythia or it looks like a High Priestess to me. Wow. All right, so the Fool is Sheila Nagig. There she is holding open an indeterminate labia. She's opening her vagina, but she's not. I think the complaint was we couldn't see that she's a crone and that the labia didn't really, it's not attached to her body. It's a disembodied labia. Interesting. Okay, then we have the Magician. The magician is Isis. I know very little about Isis, interestingly. I really don't want these scissors here. I was laughing because it is the Pythia. It is the Pythia. I've always associated the High Priestess with the Pythia, and in fact, I think it's in the Spirit Speak deck. So I know of the Pythia, and I've always identified with them on some level, which is interesting too, because I did a lot of Greek theater. I'm trained as a classical actor, and the one show that I ever did that was with a really giant theater company and so on was, where are you? There she is. She was trying to pop out at me the whole time. There's our High Priestess in Spirit Speak. And I always feel like she's the Pythia. Yeah. Greeks. Greeks everywhere. The one show that I did was, we did Hecuba. Ugh. And it was with the Royal Shakespeare Company, in fact. I think I was one of the first, maybe 2 or 3 North Americans ever, maybe the first United States American ever to work with the Royal Shakespeare Company before I quit acting. And in fact, that experience had a lot to do with why I decided I didn't want to be an actor anymore. Maybe a story for another time, but suffice it to say, it was just a really tough experience. But we did a lot of work and research into the Greeks, and we went to Delphi and went to visit the Delphic Oracle, and I had a really powerful experience there. What they would do is they would sit over, it's volcanic, they would sit over and allow the gases through and up. And it's very likely, the Pythia were like priestesses, and there were many of them. They would take shifts, and they were there to channel the Oracle of Delphi, which was thought to be the navel of the earth, and they were messengers of the gods. When Oedipus goes to the Oracle in Delphi, that's who he visits. He visits the Pythia. And she's the one who tells him the message about, killing his father and marrying his mother. So anyway, there's a lot to it. But they believed essentially that there was an open channel that went through the mouth all the way through the body, in the central part of the body, and came out through the vagina. And that the inside of a woman's body was basically hollow. And so that she would sit, the Pythia would sit over the gases, over that, where the gas was coming up out of the earth. And, it was thought that it would go up through her vagina and up into, that was how the god would then speak. It was filtered through her. So the Pythia had to be virgins because gods forbid that anything, that a penis would interfere on any level. Amazing. Amazing. Moving on. Wow. The Empress. Another archetype that I've always loved. The Black Madonna. Always been fascinated by her. Wow. We're going to get into a lot that I don't know. Sovereign. So, oh wow. Okay, so the Emperor as a woman. The Morrigan. Wow. No idea who the Morrigan is, but that is pretty awesome. And it's sovereignty. Sovereignty. I wonder, I have to look. I'm wondering if there's a story about a woman from Grail lore that I know of, and Morrigan, no, not the one, never mind. Story for another time. But anyway, the message was like what she has to tell Sir Gawain, what the secret, he has to find out like what it is that all women really want. And he finds this old hag and eventually wins her trust. And she tells him that she'll tell him the answer if he'll marry her. And he says, okay, I'll do it. And finds out that sovereignty is what every woman really wants. And it's true. The Hierophant. Okay, so we've got a lot of Europeans here. Freya. Wow, I love her sea serpent and her kitty cats. Oh my gosh. That's wonderful. Ishtar. Wonder if Ishtar must maybe be Sumerian. You're talking to I'm ignorant. I'm ignorant aside from I can speak only from what I have learned or what I've experienced. That's really all I got. I love this. No idea who she is, but wonderful. Probably must be a Nordic or something. I know who Baba Yaga is. The Hermit. Very interesting story on one of my favorite podcasts about Baba Yaga. It's actually it's called Strange Familiars. Maybe I'll find that particular episode and link it. Wheel of Fortune, Fortuna. That's going to be interesting. I know nothing about Fortuna. So we may be in a situation where, this is certainly, I'm familiar with Mott. Where goddess decks may very well just give us the ability to learn. The ability to learn, to know or understand on a very basic level and perhaps lead to something that's more experiential. Maybe they're just a gateway in. Rigid. Yeah, I'm not going to try and pronounce this Aztec name. Wow. Okay, so Kali. Interesting. We certainly haven't. I mean, it's only one aspect of Kali. I mean, these are going to be, and that's the way it's going to be, right? If you try and fit a goddess to every tarot card, that's how it's going to work. They're going to become a little bit short of their full representation. This also reminds me of Indra's net. She's got a jewel at every corner. So I wonder about the inclusion. There's the Native American legend about the Spider Woman and the creation of the universe. Then there's Indra's jeweled net in Vedic tradition and Buddhist Hindu traditions. Wow. Honestly, it's beautiful just to see so many women, just to see something that's inherently feminine, Sekhmet. Again, I know nothing about Sekhmet other than the name. But wow, it feels appropriate as the sun somehow. Again, the strength through the strength of ignorance. I can say that, right? Just being totally honest about how I'm coming to this. That's all I can really do. It's all any of us can ever do. And then be willing to learn. I know nothing about Persephone, really. Very little. Very interesting. The World. Wow. This would be a great deck for a daily draw. Wow, Vesta. Okay, Hecate. I only really know about Hecate from Shakespeare. Okay, Circe, again, just through Greek goddess research for different plays that I was either directing or acting in or movement directing or whatever. Don't know anything about this. Is obviously a Japanese goddess, maybe. She looks Japanese. Eris. Wow, fierce. Okay, 5 of fire. I see how we're doing here. Okay, I've been so taken in by the goddesses, I'm not seeing representations here. Okay. Durga. Wow. I had a yoga teacher called Durga. She was fierce. Ooh, red dakini. Beautiful. They put her in the sky. Nice. Maybe a Mayan. She looks Mayan, maybe. Oh dear, we have another Greek. Greeks are everywhere. Oh, wow, Pele. Wow, I've always wanted to experience Pele. One of these days, I will go to Hawaii. I will. I think that's really that she's there. She's in the, you can feel when some of these beings are when they're in the land, and so much a part of the land. Wow. I love this. No idea who this is, but I love her. I just love her. Oh, wow. Wow. Like Leviathan. Or that movie, The Abyss. I don't know if anybody ever saw The Abyss. It's an old one. It's like from the 90s. There's a face that like the water shapes into a face and kind of comes up and smiles and looks at one of the characters, one of the female characters. Okay, Lorelei. Van Briggle pottery is known for a particular vase that's really beautiful, that's sculpted. It's an Art Deco, and it's called Lorelei. Or actually, it's art. I would say it's Art Nouveau. They call it the Lorelei vase. Oh, wow. Mami Wada. I may be mispronouncing her. I had a graduate student who wrote a one-woman show called Mommy Where'd My Ogo, and in it she had a very deep personal experience to do with her own sexuality and this deity. And she was white, and she was from Georgia. Maybe she was from the South Coast, Southeast Coast and of the United States, and really had a powerful experience with this deity. Wow. It was a really neat show. I just worked with the movement, and my other friend directed it. 4 of water, no idea. La Llorona. Oh, I know I've heard of her. Wow. Okay, wow. This is going to be really deep. Tefnut. A lot of Egyptians showing up in here. Maeve. A lot of... Wow, that's beautiful. The artwork's beautiful. I mean, it's allowing for the difference in culture, Sedna. I love the narwhal down there. It's allowing for the cultures to come through. And the difference of culture. Lady of the Lake. I feel like that's an Arthurian. She's Arthurian in legend. I don't know. Another maybe Mayan or Aztec. Not sure. Maybe Aztec. Wow. Aphrodite. No idea. Maybe Japanese. Be interesting to separate them out according to culture, just to get a sense of what the balance in the deck is. Hag of Water. Wow. Okay, well, powerful enough to cause shipwrecks, and looks like those are Viking ships, so maybe we're dealing with another Nordic or Scandinavian nemesis. Wow. Wow. Okay, more Greeks. Lots more Greeks. Greeks everywhere you go. Two of Air, Athena. I do love Athena. My Grandma Jones, there's an owl like right over my... Is it this shoulder? Yes, that way. That owl. There it is. Was my Grandma Jones's, and she collected owls, and like she made one trip to Greece once when she was, I don't know, it was when all of my dad and uncles were out of the house. Udakini. Anyway, she became really fixated on Athena and owls. Devout Church of Christ. But she loved her owls. Ah, okay, so Nut or Nut, Egyptian. Okay. Japanese goddess. Yet another Greek. Greeks everywhere. Okay, Crow Mother. So I'm guessing that she's probably Zuni. Zuni or Danae. I don't know where the Banshee comes from. A lot of my family background is Irish and apparently very heavily Northern European. No idea. Oh, I know about Lilith. Oh, yeah. Tumavati. Gaia. Trying to find the angle where I get less of the glare. Wow. Oh, wow. Those are all hooded. Those are all hooded individuals behind her. Oh, wow. Wow. And there's a sleeping dragon just under the roots of that tree. Yeah. Sphinx. More Greek. Demeter this time. Ooh, I don't know. Never heard of this particular goddess. Maybe South Pacific. Wow. Wow. That is wonderful. What you can't really see because of the lighting, there is this incredible script all the way around the card. Wow. No idea. Nope. Lot to learn. I love the barn owl in the background of this one. Maybe Welsh? Based on that pronunciation? I don't know. Okay. Wow. Wow. Interesting. Curious to have you weigh in. More Greeks? No idea. Maybe Greek? Just have no idea. Very interesting though. Wow. Oh, Inanna. Wow. Oh, wow. Never heard of this one. She Who Watches. But oh my God, I love that. Wow. I love that. Wow. All right. So there's a lot to learn here for me. This is at the back of the deck. Also, let's see, arnellart.com. Tarot Deck Publishing also offers tarot art history tours of Italy and, oh, wow, I just put this together. So they are the ones who run, they run Il Minigello's website. That's pretty awesome. Wow. Cool. All right. Well, guess who's got a whole hell of a lot to learn. There's a lot in here I have never seen or heard of before, but I really have goosebumps running up and down my legs and arms and everywhere. So this is going to be really interesting to work with and get to know and get a better sense of. I'm very curious to have more people weigh in. I'm really, really interested to know how you think, how you feel. Let me know what you think about what I've said. I'm very, very open to that. I'm going to get a lot of things wrong, or I'm going to learn through simply having people say, like, hey, had you thought of this? And really, that's how we all learn. So, feel free to have as strong opinions as you want. I may, as long as we're all being respectful of one another, I think there's space for there to be very strong viewpoints. But I really will emphasize, as folks comment and as this dialogue continues, that really my greatest intention is respect, because when we respect one another, it is a way of showing love, and it is a way of being kind, actually. And it's very, very integral to my practice that be the case. So as you comment, please make sure that your comments are respectful, even if they're not necessarily nice. And I really have no value in niceness. I feel like niceness is something that we use in order not to have to be authentic. And I'd rather have people be authentic than nice. All right, everyone. I wish you a beautiful and blessed week. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for being here. All right. Bye.